We're recording this session and we will send you the recording and the slides later on. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your location, and welcome to this information session on the Climate Vulnerability and Capacity Analysis Learning Journey. We have a short agenda for today. We will quickly share a little bit more about the Care, Climate and Resilience Academy for those of you who are new to it. But then we will zoom in on the CVCA Learning Journey, and we have reserved some time at the end for your questions and our answers. But please feel free to also put your questions in the chat, and we will do our best to already respond during the presentation. Before we get started, I just want to introduce myself and the Academy team. My name is Diana Kakebeke, and I'm the Climate Justice Training and Capacity Lead at the Care Climate Justice Center. And with me are Nadia Rinaldi, who some of you may have been in touch with over email already, our Climate Learning and Anticipatory Action Officer. Lee is also with us today. She's the Digital Comms and Knowledge Management Officer. And we also have one of our technical experts and facilitators of the learning journey with us, Farida Farah. She's Climate Adaptation Specialist at Care Germany and at the Care Climate Justice Center. And Tui Bing is also one of the main facilitators. She's the Program Quality Lead at the CJC. So to start quickly with the Academy, we are an online learning platform and capacity sharing initiative run by the Care Climate Justice Center. And our main objective is that we basically want to increase the knowledge and the skills of development and humanitarian practitioners and their capacities to integrate climate change and climate change adaptation into their programs and policies. And we have different learning resources at the Academy, the learning journeys being one of them. But we also have a wide range of self-paced courses that you can access for free through our website and e-learning platform. These are short online courses in English, Arabic, French, and Spanish, accessible 24/7 through the website. So if you don't know them, I recommend you to have a look at the website and check them out. We have a few trainer packs. These are materials that will allow you to facilitate trainings yourself to colleagues and partners. We also offer customized trainings that are tailored to your audience's needs or your organization's needs. And we can work together and make a solution that's fit for your needs. But today we are here to talk more about our learning journeys, which are longer online training programs. We've listed our main learning journeys here on this slide, but of course today we're going to zoom in on the CVCA learning journey. The main aim for us with this training is that after the training you are equipped with better knowledge and expertise in identifying options for building gender-responsive climate resilience. So we really hope that by the end of it, you have a good understanding of this tool, the CVCA, which can help you to understand communities' vulnerability and adaptive capacities to climate change. And a CVCA will support you and the communities in identifying and prioritizing locally led gender-responsive climate resilience options. So our aim is that at the end of the training, you are able to apply the results of a CVCA in your program design or your local adaptation planning or your advocacy. And to get there, we have divided this training into 8 modules. All our learning journeys always start with a welcome module and have a wrap-up module at the end. But we have 6 content modules where we really zoom in on the 7 steps of the CVCA. We start with a bit of a recap, refresher on some key concepts on climate adaptation and the CVCA. And then in the next modules, again, we really go into all of the steps. And maybe you can move to the next slide, Nadia, because there we have a full overview of the training. So when we talk about these key concepts, we will zoom in on CARE's climate resilience framework and look at adaptation, mitigation, and maladaptation, what the differences are. And we will introduce the CVCA. So that is the first module. In the second module, we will focus on the first 3 steps of the CVCA, which talk about getting organized for your CVCA, doing your background research, and we will talk about key facilitation skills that are needed if you want to run a CVCA in local communities. Module 3 and Module 4 are about the 9 participatory tools that are highlighted in CARE's CVCA. So we will practice with each of these tools in an online environment. So we'll be really creative to make sure that you can experience what it's like to conduct these tools through role plays, for instance. Module 5 will then focus on how you move from data collection to a data analysis and a CVCA report, which basically are step 5 and step 6 of the CVCA. And in module 6, we will move from data analysis to planning, local adaptation planning, but also to planning your own CVCA after the training, hopefully. So that is just in a nutshell what the learning journey is about. And I'll pass it over to Nadia now for some practical issues.
Yes. So I've been in touch with most of you, and I'll be sharing some practicalities that you may want to know about this learning journey. So, as Diana already mentioned, we have 8 modules, of which 6 are content modules, and each module will be 2 weeks. So in total, that will leave us to a learning journey, which will last over 16 weeks. And we also have live webinars. These will take place on the 2nd week of each module on a Thursday. And the exact time will be confirmed. This is because global participation is possible for this learning journey, which makes it a very rich experience. But of course, people in the Americas, depending on whether people in Americas or more the Asia Pacific region sign up, we will decide the exact time. However, you can expect it to be either 1 or 2 p.m. Central European time. So we have the webinars, as I mentioned, and these will last over 2 hours. And we also provide an additional live session, which is a Q&A where you can ask all your questions related to the assignments that you may have, but also other questions related to the CVCA. And the time commitment for this learning journey is 1 to 1.5 days per module. And as part of the module, we also have assignments, of course. So you get to work either individually or in a pre-assigned group on various group assignments or individual assignments over the 16 weeks. So every module is more or less set up in the same way. So we have various learning resources, and we try to have a mix of webinars or interviews, online courses, readings, and videos. Then we have the assignment, as I mentioned before, and the webinar, followed by an online quiz to test your knowledge. And then at the end, we have the opportunity to give feedback on the module, since we're always trying to improve our learning, resources. And we're using the Moodle platform for this training. So this will be your learning environment where you'll be able to find all the resources and also interact with the facilitator, but also with your peers. Also, also take part in this learning journey. And we'll be using Zoom for the live sessions. So a bit more on the assignments. As I mentioned before, we have individual or group assignments. For this learning journey, we have it's very important to work together and be able to practice the tools. So the majority of them will be group assignments, but of course you also have some individual assignments to balance it out. And just to give you a bit of an idea of what this may look like. Um, we have the following assignment examples for you to show here. So we have the individual learning journal, which you can use throughout this learning journey to basically, yeah, monitor your learning. Then another assignment we have is comparing and presenting the key climate concepts, and also developing a community climate profile. Then I think which are the most exciting group assignment is to prepare a facilitation script for a focus group discussion where you practice this script for the CVCA participatory tools. And we'll also be doing some role plays and finally an analysis of the CVCA data. And to yeah, for you to complete these assignments, of course, we'll provide some clear instructions, also an imaginary community, where your assignments will be based on the roles of community members, and we'll be making use a lot of Mural, which you may know already. So this will be a tool to help you do the analysis, but also better structure the focus group discussions. So that said, it's very important that collaboration is good amongst the group members. So we really want to have timely coordination between group members, and we'll also have a focal point of each group, which will be basically making sure that the group will submit their assignments on time. So, who can enroll for these trainings? So, this training is designed for professionals from different types of organizations, institutions, but we have a couple of requirements, which is to have a basic understanding of climate change and also to have the intention to apply the CVCA in practice. Or include this in proposal development. So specifically working with the community adaptation action planning and strengthening adaptive capacities. We also ask you to be able to commit to an equivalent of 3 days a month for the entire course duration, and also be willing and able to be an active participant in the group work as well as the individual assignments. This training will be delivered in English, so it's also important that you be able to have a good understanding and be able to communicate with your group members in English. And since it's an online training, having a reliable internet is also important. So, moving on to the requirements. At the end of this learning journey, you'll be able to earn a certificate. And to be able to do so, you have to fulfill the following requirements, which is to have attended at least 5 out of the 8 webinars and submitted 80% of the assignments and quizzes. So these are some important dates, and we'll also make sure to share them later if you sign up for this training. So the training will start on the 23rd of February and will last until the 14th of June of this year. And I already sent out an email. If you want to secure your spot for this learning journey, please make sure to make the payment by the 2nd of February. And below here in this table, you can see the dates. We have all the live webinars on Thursday, except for one day, which is a Wednesday. So these are all the modules starting and end dates and the dates of the live webinars. So the costs of this learning journey. So if you'd like to enroll for this learning journey and you're an external organization, meaning that you don't work for the Care Confederation, the costs are 1,150 euros. And we have a discount for care staff, which is 850. And for those who work for local governments or civil society organizations in the Global South, we have a discounted fee of 520 euros. And if you want to enroll as a group, and a group is if you're 5 or more people, you'll get a 5% discount. And you have the option to pay via invoice or also online by credit or debit cards. And if you have any questions on this, please make sure to contact us as at our email to secure your place and ask any additional questions you may have. Yeah, we're at the end of our short presentation about this learning journey. And now we want to open the floor to you for any questions that you may have on this learning journey. It can be on the content, but also on the practicalities. So over to you if you have any questions. And yeah, we'll be doing our best to answer them. Are there any questions? Or were we very clear? Okay.
Great. Thanks, Alex. Anyone
Hello.
else? Oh, hi, Casina.
Hi. I'd like to ask, I've seen that you also have the course on the EBA adaptation. So would this concept be introduced in this course as well for the CVCA and also like stakeholders analysis, all these some foundational tools, would it be included in this one?
Yeah, thanks for your question. It's true that we also have a learning journey focusing on ecosystem-based adaptation. That is a different learning journey. We will briefly touch upon EBA because we will also look at how you can use CVCA in different contexts because yeah, it's a widely applicable tool with just some modifications. You can use it in conflict settings. You can use it for EBA. You can use it in urban contexts. So that's when we will touch upon it, but we won't go into details on EBA. I hope that answered your question, Casina.
Yes. Thank you. Mm. And regarding about this one, like the climate analysis, we have like projections and all these things in various regions. And within this course, we will be able to provide the guidance on how to navigate those climate maps or things like that, or the applications that we can use.
Farida, do you want to come in, maybe?
Yeah, can you maybe clarify what you mean by applications? I don't know if you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, I
it's
can.
like maybe not really apps, but it's like so there are a lot of climate projections and risks and all these things. During the course, we will be able to navigate about the channels that we can use in order to map the the risk and the projections. Is that correct? I mean,
Okay.
how would the course support us to facilitate for the communities to navigate the vulnerabilities with those climate changes, climate projections?
Yeah, so the CVCA has several steps in order to build a basic understanding on the vulnerabilities of the specified community. So if you look at Module 2, for example, we have background research is one of the core foundations of building this understanding and building the overall picture of what the community or the area looks like in terms of vulnerabilities. So during the background research phase, we will be talking a lot about how to get the background research. We have some international and global platforms where you can get data from. and analyze the data to understand more about the current conditions and projections. You will also look into the local data or start to understand what kind of local data you may want to look into as well. But then when we move to the participatory tools, it's all about the community's lived experience. So we look at how people interact with climate impacts or with climate hazards and how their livelihoods are being affected. So we really look at the lived experience more than the scientific part of the impacts. If I hope this clarifies it a bit.
Yes, okay.
So we will touch upon a bit on the background through the background research on the data available online, data available from local resources, from national resources, regional. But then our core for the CVCA is mostly or is focused purely on participatory extraction of this information and vulnerabilities.
Okay. And for the module 5 about data analysis, can you give me a little bit more explanation on this module, or how do we plan to do the data analysis? Any tools or how would we do it in the module 5?
Yeah. Sorry, Diana, I'll just answer this question. Yeah, so the data analysis part, this is bringing everything together really. So after looking at module 2, gathering background research, and module 3 and 4, where we look at the different participatory tools, all of the 9 CVCA tools, we start bringing them all together and comparing all of the data that we have collected from our case study, because we will not be working in real life, we'll be working on a case study since it's an online training, but we will have like an imaginary village that we are working with, and we will start comparing all of the different outcomes of these tools together and analyzing the data on what are the core climate problems, what are the barriers for resilience, what are the options for increasing and strengthening resilience. So we have a set of questions in our analysis framework where we will start answering these main research questions, bringing in all of the data collected together. So there is a tool or more like a framework where we will be conducting the analysis to lay out all of the data and start to triangulate it and to link it together to make sense of this data in order to come up with ideas for local adaptation planning.
Thank you.
Great, Cassina. Thanks for these questions. Any other questions? There was one question in the chat asking if we will also address any specific requirements from funds such as GCF for the adaptation funds. We won't talk about climate funding or climate finance in this training. We might touch upon how you can integrate a CVCA into a project proposal, but that's very generally and won't have the major focus in this training. Are there any other questions? All right. Well, we always try to keep these information sessions sweet and short, and I think we managed. So I hope that means that everything is clear. Of course, if you have any outstanding questions, also, later on, feel free to shoot us an email. You can also register your interest for the learning journey through the form that Nadia shared in the chat. Nadia, maybe you can copy our email address once more also in the chat. And otherwise, yeah, of course, we hope to see you enroll for the training. Thank you for your time and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.